Welcome to another pen talk. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. Today it's going to be vintage pens in this discussion, and what spurred me on to put these pens together and to put the video together was a pen I recently restored. This is a Conklin pen. I date it to be the mid-30s to maybe late 30s. It's hard to really get a good date on these pens. There wasn't a lot of information published or maintained or retained. It has the Conklin clip. As you can see, the brand is there. I like the material the pen is made from. Interesting striped pattern. Decent amount of iridescence and colorful pattern that it produces. The pen is a lever fill. As you can see, the pen has aged. I have a number of vintage pens, and one of the things that I've noticed is some of the metals in the pens seem to corrode more than others. It could have been maybe the conditions it was stored in, but I was able to bring some life back to the pen. What really impressed me about the pen was the way it wrote, which we'll get into later on. It's missing the cap band. I may replace it at some point in time, but you know, to the unobservant eye, they probably wouldn't notice that, and it doesn't really detract from the pen itself. To put it in perspective, this pen is a little bit over 5 inches long, about 125 millimeters. Sorry, 130 millimeters. It weighs a little bit over 15 grams, so it's somewhat on the light side. Conklin made a number of pens with this type of material. Here's another one, which was in slightly better shape than the previous pen, and as you can see, the band is in place. And as the other one is, it's also a lever fill. But again, I find this material to be very intriguing and makes for a very interesting pen. And the shape and the weight also lend itself to be a good daily writer. And here's just another version. As you can see, vintage pens they made in many styles. Maybe it's a different year. Who knows why? And it's, like I say, the research takes a while, and there's not a lot of information on that level of detail. And this has a wider cap band on it. But again, as you can tell from the material that it's in, it still retains its interesting visual appeal. I came across these two pens, which are from a different manufacturer. These are more pens, but it's a similar material. This is, I guess, a slightly of an upgrade. These are the more 94A styles, and these were placed in the mid-40s. It's a little bit different time frame, maybe 10 years after the Conklin pens, but as you can see, it's a very similar material. So maybe whoever made this material and supplied it to the pen manufacturers probably restarted up their manufacturing. And Moores are also much more Art Deco in their design, at least this style of Moore pen. I have a number of Moore pens, and maybe we'll do a more in-depth review later. Also wanted to show you a similar style and shape to another type of Conklin pen. This is a Symmetrix, which is a more common model, and it also has the push clip, spring-loaded clip. This is also missing one band at the bottom of the clip. Seems like a common theme here. And again, a very interesting material, very nice design, and this is about the same size, a little bit slightly smaller in girth than the striped ones I looked at. And just to put Conklin in perspective, I thought we'd just take a quick look at what they're really known for is a crescent filler system, which was preceded lever filling and was kind of an adoption to eyedropper filling. So this band was just moved to a position, and of course now with the camera it doesn't seem to want to move, but yes, it moves to a certain position, and then that's pushed down. There's no bladder in here now. I have not restored this pen, so but I thought you'd just want to kind of look at a different style, and as you can see, this is the more classic flat top, which you'll find in a lot of Watermans and Parkers of the time frame. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I really was excited about with the pen is writing with it. The nib is not anything I would say exceptional for the time. It's an unscrew cap. And it's your, standard, come on, 14 karat gold point. The camera is being fussy, but there we go. It's a cushion point. Which is one of the things, and it has a pretty standard feed on the back. I just cleaned this. The other interesting point is it has an ink view in the section. You can see how the ink goes in there, and you can see the level of ink. This whole section is transparent, and they put black paint over the bottom part to make it appear that this is just a transparent window, but it's a whole transparent section. So there we can take a look at how the crescent shape on the point and the Conklin name. So when I first touched paper with this pen, I was very, very happy. It starts all the time and is extremely smooth. I would say it's a semi-flex. A little bit of pressure, you can open up the tines, but it doesn't spread. I wouldn't call it a full flex, and certainly nowhere near a wet noodle. Lays down kind of a medium line. This is Uroshuku Yamabuda ink. Sorry, I had to go look at the bottle. I like the color. I think the color goes well with this pen. And I agree with a lot of the other reviewers, writing over the camera is not a pleasant experience. But I think for the viewer's enjoyment, it kind of lends it for that. As you can see, it's consistent. It lays down a very nice patch of ink. It's just a point that I find to be just a pleasure to write with in the style that I write with. It gives you a decent amount of feedback, but not a lot. It's certainly not scratchy. I haven't done anything to smooth the nib. That might remove whatever feedback you're getting, so I'd have to decide on whether I want to do that. And of course I don't think I'll open up the feed, but that's something else that you can do. So hopefully you enjoyed this look at an interesting vintage pen. So thank you for watching, and right on.